There are some battles that never make it to the battlefield. They happen quietly, long after the war is over. This is one of those stories. The story of Robert Royer, a decorated Air Force veteran, and a family fighting for his final salute. Robert Royer served as a radar navigator on the B-52 bomber during the war in Southeast Asia. He wasn't just another name in the Air Force records. He was one of those men who faced the storm head-on, thousands of feet above the ground, where every mission could have been his last. On April 4, 1972, his courage was tested like never before. When the war ended, Royer came home quietly. No parades, no applause. Just a man returning from chaos, ready to live a normal life. Like so many veterans, he carried the weight of what he'd seen, but he carried it with dignity. Years later, when Robert Royer passed away, his family expected what every decorated veteran deserves: a final salute. A full military burial. The folded flag. The sound of taps echoing through the air. A nation's last thank you to one of its own. But that salute never came. Instead of closure, the Royer family was met with silence, confusion, and bureaucracy. The honor they believed he had earned was delayed or denied. And so began a new fight. A fight not on foreign soil, but right here at home. A fight to make sure Robert Royer's service was recognized with the respect it deserved. They made calls. They wrote letters. They searched through documents and service records. They reached out to officials, determined not to let his legacy fade into paperwork. They weren't asking for special treatment. They were asking for fairness, for honor, for recognition. According to the report, Royer's family said they were fighting for his final salute. A small gesture that meant everything. Because for them, this wasn't just a ceremony. It was closure. It was respect. It was the final chapter of a hero's life, one that deserved to be written with dignity. And sadly, they're not alone. Across the country, many families of veterans are fighting the same quiet battles. Sometimes a missing document. Sometimes a medal that was never recorded. Sometimes a process so complicated, it feels impossible to navigate. These are the unseen struggles of military families, people who have already sacrificed enough, still fighting to make sure their loved ones aren't forgotten. Robert Royer's story is a reminder that honor should never depend on paperwork. It's a reminder that the promise we make to our soldiers, to remember and respect them, must be kept without question. Because when that promise breaks, it's not just a family that loses faith. It's the nation itself. The final salute is more than a military ritual. It's a symbol of gratitude. It's a quiet whisper that says, "We remember you." It's the sound of a country standing still to say thank you. Robert Royer may no longer be here to speak for himself. But his story speaks louder than any words could. It tells us that sometimes the bravest battles are fought not by those in uniform, but by those who love them. His family's determination shows us that love does not end with life. It carries on through every letter, every call, every tear, every salute. If you believe every veteran deserves their final salute, then remember Robert Royer. Remember the families who still wait for that moment of honor. And remember that behind every medal is a human story of courage, sacrifice, and devotion. Robert Royer gave his country everything. And now, his family gives us a reminder. Honor should never need to be fought for. It should simply be given, freely, fully, and forever.